just to recap today, at 122, took Torrey Taylor, punter out of Iowa. Really excited about Torrey, one of the best punters I've ever seen, just in terms of his placement, as well as his leg strength to be able to flip the field. And then we traded back in at 144 with Buffalo for a future fourth for Austin Booker, a guy that we thought had tremendous upside. We love his length. We love how hard he plays. We just see a ton of upside. He's 21 years old. A lot of growth and development there. And then overall, really excited about how the draft went this year. Everything fell into place. I would have never guessed that it would have lined up the way that it did. So we're all excited. A lot of hard work went into it, and it paid off for sure. And now it's time to start a new chapter for this organization.
Yeah, so I just want to start off by thanking Ryan and his whole staff. I mean, it's a big process to be able to get the right guys on the football team that are good teammates that love football. That's a deep process that we have to go through, and there's a lot of people that are involved in that, from trainers to medical doctors to strength and performance, and just want to thank him for that. It's a big process, and then how we really connect with the coaches. We really do that in a deep way, in a good way, and the communication has always been great since we've been here, and we're just trying to get to the right answer. And we definitely did that this time for sure. And we've done it the first 3 times. We're the 2 other times. So I think it's exciting to look at the process. We're getting better every single year as we go. The experience with each other, and I think it's really good to say thanks to those guys that are all involved in that. So with the draft. You talk about Caleb, and then Rome, the first 2. I think it was really cool how they got to fly, just by happenstance, fly together to Detroit and then get on a private jet with their families and fly here. That's pretty cool, to be able to do that all together, get to bond a little bit with each other. And I had I guess it was 12 of them, two draft picks, and then the family members back in my office to visit. Man, it was a great process, to be able to sit there and visit with those guys, and I just took time to thank their parents, because to have the quality of men you have in Caleb and Rome, that doesn't happen. You have to be raised that way, and I really wanted to thank their parents. And they all were in there, so and they make good teammates. Why? Because they love football. And to me, that's what it's all about. Are they talented? Sure, they're talented, no question. But it's going to be fun to watch those guys grow up together. And then with the next pick, with the Quran, interesting story that a year ago he was at Kemper Lakes Golf Course. And I was, I'm friends with the owner Steve over there, and a lot of the guys over there. So a really good track. The last 3 holes are called the Gauntlet. I mean, and they ain't lying when they say that. It's pretty hard. But so I got off actually I was making the turn, and he's standing there. He says, "Coach, how you doing?" I said, "Yeah, how you doing?" He's a great looking guy, right? Lean, long, fast, for his position, great feet. And he said, "Hey, you're gonna end up drafting me next year." And I was like, "Okay, we'll take a look at you," because I haven't seen him on film yet, but he did. So it came true. I mean, how crazy is that? And so now I got a good golf partner with his dad. He's probably a scratch golfer, but whatever. And Torrey, Torrey's a weapon for the whole football team. When you think about it, I know in the average, last year the high was 5.8 a game, at 99 punts, and the low was in the mid 50s at 3.3, per game, average per punt, and those things count. You can flip the field on those. The punt and pins are huge, and this guy's a big talent. So we're excited to have him. And then Austin, great job by Ryan trading back, into it and getting him. He's a guy that's got a lot of upside. He's long, he's fast, he's got a lot of bursts to close. You can definitely see that, and he plays an aggressive style. And we're excited to have him too. So with that, I'll open up the questions.
And does this draft feel to you like a big moment and a big accomplishment in your career?
I don't really look at it that way, but to have the opportunities we did this year, for everything to go what I think is in a really good direction, it's really big for our football team. I think we made huge strides forward. There's work to be done, but this is an impact draft for this organization for sure.
Matt, when you guys were at USC, you said you sat down with Caleb, just the two of you, and you said, "Tell me your story."
Yep.
How did you find that his story shaped him as you were trying to get to know what made him tick?
Well, just when you go through the process with him, you can tell that he's all ball. I mean, he loves football and he's diving into it. When he was a running back and then switched over to the quarterback as a youngster there, and then the amount of time that he put into really studying the position and really working his craft, trying to master his craft. Really, you saw that come, when he won the Heisman. So, it's and where he is right now in terms of his game. And you can definitely see that he loves the game.
Do some of that stuff at 10, 11, 12. That's unusual even by high-level athletics.
Yeah, it is. They've got an innate gift, to be able to spin the football, and it's exciting to watch.
For both of you guys, Caleb's obviously not a perfect prospect or a finished product. As he gets in the practice field here soon, what are one or two areas of emphasis that you'll have for him at the very start of his career?
You said Caleb?
Caleb, yeah.
Yeah, it's really just the operation, right? He's going to have to operate the offense. He's going to have to spit the calls. He's going to have to be clean with his cadence, and just operating the offense. If it's in the huddle, from the no huddle, in all the situations, and he's going to have to, play point guard, and that's what he does, distribute the ball.
Ryan, when Mahomes came out, he had a losing record in college, and I was wondering, did you guys in KC project that he would become this crunch time winner who carried the team over the top and played his best at the end, or was that just a benefit? I'm just curious if you can project that a guy will be that kind of guy, referring to Caleb, of course, but as it relates to Mahomes, that factor, did you see that then, and can you see anything like that in Caleb? Can you project that effect?
Yeah, it's hard to project to that level, but what you look for is what they can do. What tools do they have, the instincts, their feel for the game, obviously the physical part of it as well. And then can you develop all of the other pieces that they may be missing based on the system that they're coming from or just some struggles that they have. But if they have a certain level of those physical tools that, the sky's the limit and it can be a really high ceiling. And that's what we look for, and that's what Caleb has. He has a really high ceiling. Now we got to pour into him. He's got to put in the time as well, which we know both sides will do everything that we can to develop him and those around him, and then we'll see where that ceiling is.
Ryan, what are you most proud of in what you've been able to do to remake the roster and both sides of the ball and free agency, the draft, et cetera, over your 3 years?
I would say that I think it's really rare to have the skill level be improved so much, but the culture and the people be like top notch as well. Like to bring really good people and really talented players in, and for that to be the same, I think that's really hard. And you don't have to worry about having a bad locker room, bad culture, through adversity, things going bad, and it starts to eat at itself. These guys love being around each other. They love football. And that's, coming up through scouting, those are the kind of the staples. You want to make sure guys are passionate about football, they're good teammates. And you lean into that, and you got to have faith that when you put a bunch of those people together, it can be special. So I'm just proud of the people that we've brought in on top of the talent as well.
Matt, what do you appreciate, Matt, about Austin and the fact that he was able to produce so much despite only starting one game last year, and a Senior Bowl specific? How much did his showing down in Mobile turn you guys on to him and your draft board?
Yeah, we definitely had our eyes on him down there for sure. And he's got a slippery way about him. Some rushers just have the ability to, work around the tackle on the outside. And there was a couple other guys that were like that in the draft this year. But he's definitely one of those guys. And he's just got a natural ability to really rush the passer and understand when he gets to the top of the rush, if he's stuck, he can work back inside. You saw a lot of that on tape as well. But I'm most impressed by his hustle and his disposition, the way he plays the position.
Ryan, it's been pretty clear that you identified Rome as one of those guys that has the talent and then the personality.
Yeah.
When did you find yourself particularly drawn to kind of his wiring and really his demeanor and the way he just is on an everyday basis?
Yeah, so for that, we really lean into our area scouts that spend so much time in the schools. They did a great job getting the background. And then you obviously read stories and kind of pair everything together and realize how special the guy is. And you can hear with the conviction that our guys talk about Rome. And then on top of that, I had a really cool opportunity. I think it was right after Thanksgiving, flew out for the Apple Cup game. I think he had 120 yards. But then to see the player, make plays like that, I think it was like rainy and cold and just out there making plays for his team. And it was a really tight game. And I think they actually did a reverse or jet sweep on like a 4th and 1. And they put the ball in his hands and got it done. So it was cool.
Matt,
Ryan,
what do you think, what do you think you can do with this collection of offensive skill players that's been put together now?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to defend. Start with practice. We gotta defend those guys in practice, which I think is gonna be really good for our skill set, on both sides of the ball. Because if you look at the receiving core, they're all different. Our halfbacks are all different, and the tight ends are different. They're a different skill set. So I think it's credit to Ryan to be able to bring those guys together, acquire those guys, and I think it's gonna be very difficult to defend.
And specifically with the top pick coming in, the quarterback coming in, you have a long career, but you only have these 2 years where you've really worked with the offense. How much more prepared do you feel to supervise the development of a young quarterback than you did when you started?
Yeah, I think it's a group process, and I really think that all of us together are gonna do that at the same time, But I really believe that, Caleb's in a really good spot. And he's starting at a good spot. And he's gonna finish at a good spot. We gotta get him to the first game, being the most prepared that he can be up to that point.
Matt, specifically with Rome, what do you like about what he brings to the offense?
Yeah, just the explosiveness, the ability, and I love the work ethic. His story is just all about work, and I just love that. And he's gonna fit right in with our group. But just the explosiveness that he brings, because it's fun to be able to throw, DJ or Rome or Keenan, a little 5-yard pass, and all of a sudden it turns to 20 or 25. Looks pretty good on the stat line, But also explosive plays are about winning. You win with explosive plays, and those guys bring that to the table.
For both of you, we know the expectations as a team are to win now, but even the best rookie quarterbacks have some growing pains. So I'm just curious, as it pertains to Caleb, what are your expectations for him specifically?
Yeah, just to work, get to work, and he's gonna do that. He's gotta take one day at a time, get to work, go through the process, get to know his teammates, get the relationships going with every single guy, which he's done. He's already called all our draft picks already, and he's already reached out to a bunch of players, some of the key players on our football team. So that's really it. Just take one day at a time.
Ryan,
Matt, you mentioned at the owners meeting that you and Ryan both knew when you took over it'd be kind of a tough sledding at the start to turn it around. But now that this moment has arrived, how do you describe the energy around this weekend now that it is kind of come to fruition, both of you?
I would just say that really, it's exciting, and we understand that. We understand where we are and where we came from, and I'll just go back to it's one day at a time. Now it's about putting the football team together and the guys coming together, in terms of their relationships and learning the scheme, and let's get to work.
Matt, there's probably a lot of young Bears fans who think they're gonna get drafted by the Bears. After that interaction with Karan, when you actually looked him up, what was sort of your reaction to seeing him on the film?
Yeah, it was good. He's good. Like I said, he's a long, lean, and he's got a lot of upside with him. So it was exciting, And then I got a chance to meet him, in person. I spent about 30, 40 minutes with each guy, on the 30 visit in my office talking to him, and got a great story, great family, and he's going to get it done.
thank you.